Hey everybody, in today's episode, it's recorded earlier this past week on like Tuesday, and I think it's going to end up airing on the October 1st. I have two of my Prostaff guys on with me. Ty Overland ends up coming in second after Brant, David, and I first start. Some of y'all have heard Brant on the podcast before, to be Ty's first time. We were setting up to discuss the trip that we're going to be on together as a group, one of our first group trips. And it transferred into talking about saddle hunting and our stands and setups and how we do things a little different, how we do things the same. It was an enjoyable time. Our schedules were bouncing around for this one. So I think y'all like the episode because it goes from one extreme to the other maybe. But it was a fun time. Like I said, I appreciate y'all tuning in and listening to it. And when it airs, it will be Tuesday, October 1st. We will be bow hunting in North Louisiana. Sorry, my sinuses. And hopefully we'll do some recordings and a couple of lives while we're there. Y'all stay tuned. So on today's episode of Delta Lodge Outdoors, I have Brant David with me. He's been on one of the podcasts before. He's one of our original OG Prostaffers. We're trying to get Ty on, but today hasn't worked out for us all to get together on stuff because Brant had a list of honeydews to do this morning, which threw our time frame in a conundrum. But he's here with me now. We're going to go over a few things, I think, about the trip we got coming up. Today is Tuesday, September. What the fuck's the date, Brant? 17th. So we're 2 weeks out from the start date. This one will drop October 1st, opening day of season. We'll actually be on the trip at that point. So you there? How's your day been? How's your day been? You got caught up on what you needed to do?
Yeah, I went to a grocery store, of course, to get some weekly stuff, and then went through the camp section, got a couple things that you recommended that I bring and stuff like that. Because I've camped out before, but not like really like this. So, going good. Got a couple groups that shot the bow a little bit just to see how it is. It's still kind of warm outside at like 91, 92, so.
Yeah. Speaking of that, looking at like the temps for the trip, it's supposed to be like 81, 82 for the highs and like low 60s for the lows, which looks like it's going to be pretty nice.
Like Prostaff or Ty Overland is actually calling me right now. Let me see if I can patch it.
All right, that'll work.
Yep.
So, the guys should come back in and we'll be able to, at least one, if not both of them, we'll go over trying to get the gear. They're trying to get theirs figured out because they've never been on like a week-long hunting trip and camping trip like this. We're going to leave on Sunday the 29th and we won't be back until like the following Friday or Saturday. So, it's a new trip to them. They've never been off like this. I've done it a lot. So just trying to get it figured out where I can make sure I line it out.
All right, JR, we got Ty on here too. He's got a little bit in the truck with him.
All right. So you got like junior pro staff with him, huh? So,
yeah.
Hey, Ty, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
That's what.
Ty, we were just kind of covering the weather. We were looking at the weather on the Weather Channel app for 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks out of October 1st. We'll be probably putting ice on a deer at this point, hopefully. One of us will be. Oh, guaranteed. But yeah, JR was just talking to us he was talking about the weather.
Like,
go ahead, JR.
That's what I'm saying. Like, looking at it, it's looking like the highs are going to be like low 80s and the lows are going to be low 60s, which would be ideal for what, going tent camping for a week and hitting some public land up. So I think that's what I said. I think Brant and I will be there that Sunday. You're rolling in sometime Monday because of work schedule.
Yeah.
Brant and I are gonna try and get set up and do a little bit of scouting Sunday evening. Then Monday we'll scout a little bit. You'll get in. Hopefully you get in time to check a couple areas out. And I actually want to get together. I don't know if you'll get there in time, but I know sometime either Monday or Tuesday after we come out of the woods, there's another place about 20 minutes from there. If we haven't hit it up on Monday, I want to go scout it on Tuesday. It's got a big creek that runs through it. and Oak Flat and everything. So I think if the acorns are there and they're dropping, I think it would be ideal to hit.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, just we'll evaluate and see how it looks and everything.
So
I will say that the wind's still the same as what it has been showing. It's 5 to 10 miles an hour out of northeast, so shouldn't be too many crazy weather conditions. It looks like.
no,
Yeah,
and it's-
we pretty much just set up on just that wind, basically.
Pretty much.
That'll make it a lot easier for us.
yeah,
It's been consistently like for 2 weeks the same. So
yeah. If the wind pattern doesn't change, we can set up to hunt that wind based out of a couple areas. Then there's a couple other areas I know that the wind shifts. We can make the switch to that, and or we might be able to get in like the back door, like basically like you was reading Brant and talking about last night, the back door in some of these places. There's a couple places that we look at. If the wind shifts and we were still liking it, we could get back in there. But I feel like after 1 or 2 sits in one section, if they're not there, we're going to be moving.
yeah.
To start with.
That was kind of our goal time Monday. Well, for sure Sunday afternoon we're gonna kind of set up some of the stuff and then hit the woods and start walking around and hitting a few spots hopefully before it gets too dark on Sunday. And then all Monday we'll probably be in the woods in different areas bouncing around. So we'll make sits in the morning like we're gonna try to run a spot, check it out, and then bounce around, completely jump locations and stuff, just to get as much in the woods as we can. That way we can have multiple spots, especially for you coming in. You'll be
Oh yeah. And I was talking to JR earlier, and I was like, he already was explaining to me. I was like, yeah, I mean, the lunch breaks like in between meals, in between hunts, like we can go scout whatever down the road or the property's already scouted. Just not trying to be too invasive, but also be looking for signs if we're not seeing much.
Yep. And it don't take us 4 hours to have a lunch break. So we'll have plenty of time during the middle of the day to do that.
What the hell y'all talk about a lunch break?
That's the nice thing about you and JR doing the saddle hunting this year, and y'all been doing it, is versatility. We can find a spot and y'all can pretty much set up and be good to go. So that'd be nice.
Easy.
I mean,
Yes.
I could bring one of my spare saddles and give you a crash course.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We have some time around the camp, just hanging out.
It'd be so much fun for you to check that out and try it out, because it's a game changer. I know you like the climbers and like being able to carry stuff, but I'm telling you, dude, once you try it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, worth the investment. And they have a lot of budget ways to go about it that's still very quality and safe.
I bought 2 of the.
Letting y'all do all that, buying and trying stuff out. I know what to get.
Yeah, I have 4 now. Like, I have my H2, hole shot or whatever it is, Ty. Like the mesh seat.
Yep.
Then I have that Woods, which 8 Canyon does their stuff now. Woods had some personal technical difficulties that I'm not gonna put all his information out. And 8 Canyon Outfitters, which I actually may be getting them on for podcast too in the next few weeks. We've been messaging back and forth, and so if we get they're doing his, and they actually their owner. I was talking to him yesterday. We're texting back and forth, and he literally hunts out of the Woods custom saddle that I own. He that's his favorite out of several of the ones they have, and we're hunting the same. It's a 2-panel. Then I have, the tethered Menace, I believe is what it is.
Yeah.
I ended up buying a couple of those probably about a month ago when they clearanced them through Midway USA.
For super cheap, yeah.
I got a pair of them delivered for like $140.
Yeah,
That was when you said the saddle, when you bought that, did it come with the bridge and a couple of other things, or was it really just the saddle?
It came with most of what I could climb in it, but I also, from having the whole shot and having the Woods, it came with everything. So I have enough spare stuff to you could use a saddle while we were there if you wanted to.
I'm bringing some sticks too.
Then I'll have my 1 stick, and I think Ty and I run the same Eastern Woods Outdoors one stick. Then I have a set of Muddy, I had 4 of the Muddy climbing sticks, but Hunter took one of them from me because he has his saddle. I got him this year. Have you seen it? I sent you the video too, Ty, him climbing in that Pygmy Rattler.
Yes, it was a little fuzzy, but I saw him.
Yeah, custom gear modifications. Not affiliated with them in any way, like other than I bought some stuff from them and talked to the guys. They're made in Tennessee, so U.S. made. They're retired military, out of the military, so it's veteran owned and everything. You can literally, what's cool with these guys, say you had a pair of like camouflage pants that belong to, or vinyl, just something weird that belonged to your dead grandpa. You can send it to them and they can make your saddle out of that material.
Oh, yeah, dude, Greg Staggs from Staggs in the Wild, he's on YouTube and stuff. He's a big one sticker. He had done that with his Predator fall gray camo with his saddle. I'm pretty sure he sent a guy like that. It might be the same person. I can't remember.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
They're awesome to do business with, and I literally ordered Hunter's saddle at like Thanksgiving and wanted it for a Christmas present, and he was 6 weeks out, and like I screwed up, was late ordering it, and we talked on the phone, and Hunter got it for Christmas Eve. He made it happen. But getting back into,
that's good.
Like I said, I'll bring extra with me pretty much everywhere I go. I'll actually just, because you never know what's going to happen. Like, this will probably be the first year I don't have 2 compound bows with me when I go on a trip. And that's because I haven't decided if I'm bringing the other one. Because since I switched that new bow this year, like used to, I have matching pair, and that's actually what the boys are shooting now, because there's the bear that adjusts down to like 13 to 30 inches and like 5 pounds to 70 pounds or whatever. I have a pair of those, and that's what the boys will be getting, but I usually carried those in case I had an issue while I was, 4 hours from home. So I didn't have to like cut my trip down.
It was really cool. JR was showing me something the other day. I didn't tell you about this. He follows some saddle page, but it was like a small post, but it was like the best knowledge you could get for saddle hunting, like in like a paragraph. And like one of the things was immediately whenever you get to the top of the tree before you hang your platform, you should put your tether on instead of your lineman's rope. It's pretty cool.
Well, that's all I use is my tether. Unless I'm going around a branch, I don't even use a lineman's rope. I'm tethered to the tree constantly.
Yeah, I'm tethered all the time. I don't even, half the time, my lineman's rope is still in the truck most of the time. Like, it's not even with me.
You don't really need, so if you know what tree you're climbing, you know if you need a lineman's belt or not, basically.
Yeah.
Well, if you're using multiple sticks, you want a lineman's rope. Because it's the easiest way to go about doing climbing and being safer is if you have sticks, but if you have a one stick, you're hanging from your tether every time. So that's kind of the difference. A one stick, you need just pretty much your tether unless you're going around a branch, unless you're brave, and then you don't need a lineman's rope at all. Or if you have sticks, you need a lineman's rope to climb.
Yeah, which of course everybody here recommends definitely using the lineman's. Don't untie,
Always stay attached to the tree at all times.
Yep.
Definitely, it's not worth it for sure.
So yeah, we like I said, this one will actually get released Ty on our first. We'll be in the woods when it comes out, and some stuff moving in the back seat. It'll get released when we're in the woods. So will be our first day of the hunt at that point. But like we were talking about earlier, we had a little conversation earlier, the 3 of us trying to get figured out who's bringing what and what we're bringing and trying to get situated, because we've been planning this trip since probably this time last year, talking about doing it. And
it's been a while.
Yeah, and everything's flowing together where we can do it, and we've kind of already started discussing next year's trip if it works out where we want to do it, and go from there. But I grew up hunting like this, leaving and going up till 2 years ago. Every September, myself and one of my cousins, from 2016 to 2022. So our last year was 21. So for 5 years, we would leave in September and be in the woods for the day before opening of bow season in September and stay usually 7 to 9 days. on public land and hunt like that every year we did that for 5 years. Excuse me. It's a blast just getting to go, then hanging out and I think a lot of it's the camaraderie of the camp and everything. Like, I grew up, we hunted public land a lot, so we camped almost every weekend. And then even when we had our hunting club in Mississippi, since rifle season opened a month or 3 weeks to a month earlier in West Louisiana than it did in Mississippi, and it was public land, we would go over there and camp for 3 days and hunt. And it's just, I grew up doing it. I don't think y'all really have. This would be what y'all is. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is y'all's first time really to be on public land hunting.
Me, for sure.
In Louisiana, at least?
Maybe, yes. No, it's my first time public land hunting here.
Me too.
It can be fun, and like I said, the place I'm taking y'all is a fun place. Everybody I hope I'm not jinxing this, everybody I've ever taken has shot at deer, and they've had multiple deer killed in the groups. It's pretty cool. Years back, without giving too much information of location, one of the game wardens from Louisiana Law, the TV show, he actually used to be one of the game wardens that was on this area. And it was probably 4 years ago. I came out of the woods in August. Louisiana, August is hot. We know that. We're all from there. I had a bottle and a half of water. I poured one on my head. I'm trying to drink the other one. I was hanging a lock-on in there by myself, almost 2 miles deep. About had a freaking heat stroke. So I stripped down to my boxers and my boots. All my clothes are in my backpack. So I'm wearing my backpack, cowboy boots, and blue boxers. Coming out of the woods. I get almost to the truck, and here's this game warden standing there looking at me. And he's like, you all right? I'm like, yes, sir. So we talk a second, and he's like, and my boxers, you could wring them out. There's that much sweat on them. It's horrible. And he's like, I said, can I get another water out of my truck? He's like, yeah. You need some cold? I got some. He's like, you got your license? I said, your driver's license? See who you are? I said, yes, sir, not a problem. I said, I even got a hunting license. They're good. I'll give it all to you. So I show him everything, and he's like, okay, so I'll be here in October to hunt. Fast forward to the first weekend of October. Myself and my dad are coming out of the woods. My dad's carrying his crossbow, and it I don't know what malfunctioned on it, but it wouldn't decock. It wouldn't shoot. It wouldn't do anything. And I'm like, Dad, you can't have it like that. He's like, well, there's nothing I can do with it until he's like, see? And he's pulling the trigger, pointing at the ground, pulling the trigger with the decocker in it, and it's it's not shooting. And he's like, and at that point, I don't know what's wrong with it. And at the end of the story, I'll tell you what he did wrong. But we round the corner, same game warden standing there by our trucks. He looks at my dad, and he's like, why is that still cocked? My dad's having issues with it. And he's like, oh, okay. And he looks at me, he said, I sure am glad you're wearing clothes this time. And we were laughing. So him and my dad go to fiddling with the bow. And I'm like, Dad, did you double? Some crossbows, when you pull them back, they got that first click they go into, and then they pull back a little bit further and it clicks back. It has to be that second click. The first will hold it. The second's where it actually shoot. He had only pulled it back to where it clicked the one time. At this point, I'm laughing because he's like, well, it's a good thing I didn't shoot at them does this morning. I was like, it wouldn't have done you no good. But that place is really cool to hunt. It's a lot of walking. I think y'all enjoy yourselves on it. It's got good deer sign for what it is. It's got a lot of hogs too. I don't know how y'all are around with hogs, but they're fun too.
I welcome the challenge, honestly. I think Ty does too. We like a good challenge. Anybody, a rifle is nice and all, but to be in the woods with a bow, doing it pioneers had to do it.
Oh, no, you ain't going that far. You use a compound. You say that, then they expect you to use a trad bow. And,
oh, yeah, long bow with a freaking feather on the...
Dude, what's crazy is, who was I talking to the other day? And he was talking about that with a trad bow. And he's like, oh, I'll take my compound, and I'm comfortable 40, 50 yards. He said about 16 with my trad, as far as I'll try it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's an equalizer. Like, but can you imagine shooting a booner with a trad bow? How close you got to have them?
Yeah, and that's some guys. They'll shoot like 25 or something like that. But like it's tough, dude. Like and they'll shoot targets, shoot up to like 50 or further, I guess. You know, just target shoot, but they don't. I don't know if they're comfortable past 20 yards. It's tough.
Yep. See, it's like with your compound. Like I was listening to one of the guys the other day at one of the podcasts I was listening to, and that's what he was talking about. He's like, I'll practice 70, 80, 100 yards. He said in the woods on a whitetail, about 40 yards is how I feel. He said a mule deer, I'll shoot them out to say 70 or 80. He said, but a whitetail's 40 yards. And they're like, and I was like, and that's what he was talking about. And I'm like, I get that. Like, yeah, I'm about 40, maybe 50 is, I practice. I can make those shots in practice, but it's like, do I really want to shoot one that far? And it depends on the woods and everything, if you got the room to do it. But the canopy where we're going, like, really, like the main place I'm wanting, I'm wanting to put you, Ty. 10, 12 feet up is about all you're going to be able to get because of the canopy, but that's going to be plenty. Like, if you're 10 feet up, you're going to be in where you need to be.
Yeah.
And the lock-on I had in the woods there, I've set and filmed deer out of it and everything else. It's about 7, 8 feet in the air. Maybe 10. It's between like 8 and 10 feet. And I've had deer run under, like I had a deer, somebody jumped a doe one day. She come running in from behind me and literally ran under my stand. Like, you know, just shoot, no worries. But yeah, they're like the way the trees are designed there in the canopy, you're not going to have to get 20, 30 foot in the air. And if you can, you're not going to see, unless you're in certain areas. I feel like we got good opportunity. I feel like it's going to be a fun time no matter what. I'm looking forward to the trip because I've looked forward to it since we started talking about doing it. Because not only is this y'all's first public land trip, this is our first, I guess, official DFO hunt as a group.
Yeah.
And hopefully, the first annual is what we're trying to do and make it bigger and better every year.
Heck yeah.
Yep. So I know you're out running some errands too, Ty, or what?
Oh yeah, going to pick up my little girl from school.
We never sleep, never an off day, that's for sure.
All right. With me being gone for 2 years, it's hard to keep up with like ages. How old are y'all? Like your 2 kids now, Ty?
5 or 5.5 and 2.5.
Brant, yours are like 3 and 1. About to be. Both of our kids were born on the same day, just different years. So.
Wait, for real?
5.5-year-old is going to be born. I mean, my 11-month-old will be 1 the same day his turns 6. So in October. So,
okay.
Yeah. So you got an 11-month-old. I got an 11-month-old, and then I have a. She's 3.5, so she'll be 4 during turkey season.
Okay.
In the spring.
Yeah, mine are 12, 10, and 4. And
Yeah,
my little girl's 4, and she's like a feral child. Like,
when they're in the toddler phase, it's definitely a challenge, for sure.
Dude, I don't know what I told her over the weekend. She was doing something, and I got on to her and told her, I don't remember what was done. And she looks at me with this straight face, and she says, "You're not in control of me." I'm like, "What'd you just say to me? You're not in control of me." I'm like, "Yo, we're about to see." It's like, and I looked at Mary, and I'm like, "This is your fault. I just visit here. I work out of town. I just visit here. You've created this."
Literally. You know what's funny is too. One day we'll have the little junior pro staffers. They'll be having their saddles too.
Oh yeah, Hunter's in his and loves it, and like I said, it's that the pygmy rattler is what it's called, and like he loves his. He was practicing it the other day, and like he'll take that muddy climbing stick, go put it up himself, climb up, reach down, unhook the climbing stick, while he's hanging and redo it, he's one sticking with just a climbing stick with no platform and no squirrel stumps or anything right now.
Wouldn't that be harder?
It is.
Yeah, because
if you don't have an aider, it's freaking hard. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got.
And I was gonna say with a platform, it's a little bit. That's what it's made for, is climbing it with like one stick in. But like,
well, a lot of guys do just carry a platform and one stick with like a regular stick. Like,
yeah.
They make sticks like that too. You have like 2 or 3 step aider on them, or you can get one put on.
He's running my one stick. He's running one of my sticks with a aftermarket like 4-step aider, which I'll actually have 3 extra sticks with me and a couple aiders when I come, because
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I ordered, because I like to have some presets at my house, Ty. You know, I'll go in there and hang a preset on my, and then just take my one stick in that morning and climb whatever tree I want. I can just I climb up with the aider and onto the stick. So and I've got an aider with my one stick. So literally I just climb up, reach up from that stick that's already there, set my one stick and climb up, and I'm at like 12, 14 feet.
Yeah, I was doing that with a couple of sets because I had more sticks than stands, and so, you know, like to put one together. And so that's what I would do at a couple of different spots, especially in Port Gibson, Mississippi, where we were last year. Didn't get to really hunt it, but the year prior, I set up a spot or 2 spots where it was just super thick. There's one little tree, and I was just like, I'm just going to bring my platform, my one stick, and just use it, but have a couple sticks already on the tree.
Yep.
And sneak in there.
And I'm just thinking of having a thought what y'all are talking about. So it seems like with saddle hunting, you're actually enhancing your game in a sense, because instead of hunting, trying to get deer to come to something like food or feed or whatever, water, you're actually just cutting them off. You're just going to where they're at and hunting them, like you're just in their habitat, basically.
It's allowed a lot of guys to really go like into the bedroom a lot easier, you know, less noise. And that's the kind of thing that's the thing is like with the regular stand, even the small, like a lone wolf and things like that, like these small stands, they're still bigger. There's more room for error and hitting something. You got to cover them with the material usually to get them to not bang on anything, make noises. And with saddle hunting, a lot of this stuff is like a lot of saddles with no metal. You know, it's all rope and whatever else and material, and you know, you don't have those issues like with a lot of the sound that those things make, besides like a Mad Rock Safeguard maybe making a clicking sound or something like that. But it's just a lot easier to sneak up into an area, I think, from my experience.
So what you're saying is, if you're trying to hunt a specific area and there's only one tree that you could hunt, the only way to go would be a saddle.
Because it's not the only way to go. It's just, it's an easier way. I feel like it's a sneakier way than having like a big
a stick on the tree with a
exactly.
Where it's changed for me with going from switching from a climber to the I went climber, lock-on, saddle, but where it switched with me is when you got that climber, you walk into an area, you're like, oh, I want to hunt this area. Then you have to find a tree that will work for that stand. So then you're just boogering the spot all up because you're wandering around like a blind squirrel trying to find a nut looking for a tree that'll work with this climber. All right? Lock-on, you got a little more leeway with it. Well, with a saddle and sticks or one sticking, you can literally climb something the size of a 4x4. Like, I've climbed 4x4 posts with mine that I've had the ground just to see if it would do it. Probably not the wisest thing, but you know.
No.
But when you're
with a climber, you just can't climb every tree.
No.
It just doesn't work. And you also have to find a tree that is next to a really bushy tree. That way you have some kind of cover. Because if you climb a pine tree, you ain't got no cover.
And you're vertical when you're saddle hunting, and I think Ty will know exactly what I'm saying here. Like with the way, like you just said with that climber, you got to find the right tree. Well, with a climber, the tree can be too big, the tree can be too small. With a saddle, it takes a hell of a tree to be too big.
Well, and it makes your silhouette, like the silhouette of you up at the top of the tree, look like another trunk of the tree branching off.
Yeah. Well, say where you're with a lock on, or with a lock on, you have more leeway. But with a climber, when you're trying to climb a tree, if the tree's over, say, 18 inches round, you're gonna have heck with that climber using it. If it's with the saddle, with the way it's set up, you can climb a 3-foot round tree without a problem, Ty?
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry.
I said what I like about the saddle is with a climber, it's like being the Goldilocks. You gotta find just right. The tree can be too big or it can be too small. With a saddle, the tree doesn't really matter. Like,
the thing that deters me with climbers is it was always such a job because you like saw limbs up,
yep.
going up, and then you gotta it gets cockeyed on the tree, it gets fall out from underneath you, and I know you have a top to the top, but it's just a hassle. It was fun if there's a smooth tree with no real big limbs to get around, which you can't unless you're slowing down anyways. But like that, then it's smooth sailing. But how often is that you get a tree?
Yeah.
Unless you're just going 10, 15 foot up max, it's just tough.
And on
You
public,
realize too, no tree is perfectly round at the bottom as it is at the top. So
you gotta really lift it up. You gotta jump up about 5 foot off the ground to really.
Or you go up so high, or you had to go up so high, then adjust it and tighten it up.
Yeah.
It was so many variables with it. But I think if you switch to saddle hunting, Brant, you're gonna and Ty used the word earlier, the phrase, I hate using it, but the word game changer, it really is. It's it's one of those things it's an overused cliche, but it is 100% true. It changes the whole aspect.
Hopefully we get, we have a good time and we get some good footage, some good, conversations in, and, hopefully some of these other battle companies that are really trying to get out there, we can shoot. I'm all for working a deal with them and talking to them and getting some of their stuff, buying some of their stuff and using it.
Yeah.
And putting it out there, I mean, because I always like supporting local for sure, and I know you have actually somebody local to you up in Oklahoma that makes really nice platforms. I mean, you gave me the website. I can't remember the
Out on a Limb?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually...
They had literally 15 different variants.
I'm going to give away my location right now. You want me to tell you where I'm sitting?
Yeah.
I'm sitting straight across from their building right now.
That's definitely the way to go. That's pretty awesome. They definitely have...
And the guy that runs it for him, his name is, I think Mark is his name, the head guy, cool as he can be. I've been meaning to go get with him on some stuff and check some stuff out. And I haven't, but yeah, I'm in Enid, Oklahoma at the moment, which that by me saying out on a limb and I'm there, that's if you check it, you can find out. But I'm literally sitting 200 feet from their building. And
that's awesome.
They're really, everybody I met with them is as cool as they can be. They're all down to earth. I met them at that convention I went to, the deer hunter convention I told you about that Oklahoma hunters and anglers put on. And really cool guys. Just great guys to deal with. They've got a lot of cool stuff. They've got a stick coming out, Ty. I don't know if it's already out. It's about the size of your pinky.
Yeah, they have I'm not sure if it's African or I can't remember who it is. I think it's called Shakar stick, and they're very, very thin like that. Width and length of their diameter is super small. And you got some really cool stuff out there. A lot of cool products, sticks, super light sticks. And
yep, that's what him and I talked about it. And he's like, dude, I figured it would be a fad and it would go away, but it hasn't. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, everybody trying to get lighter. Did you see the Lone Wolf sticks that just came out?
Yeah.
How paper thin they are and how well they stay. It's just crazy how thin and how small people can make these sticks now.
Well, it's get into the lock-on side of it and sticks. Look at the Beast gear. Have you looked at their lock-on and their sticks is $600, which is high. It is what it is. But if you've seen the way it looks and how light it is, it's damn near as light as a saddle setup.
You talking about the micro doubles, Tom? I'm looking on their website right now. If you're talking about They look razor blade, like they're like razor blade thin.
Yeah, dude, well, it's like any really cool, innovative stick is going to cost a lot of money. Just whenever I first bought even the Eastern Woods Outdoors one stick, like when I bought it, it was like a lot cheaper than it is now. Even like I want a whole setup for one stick, and it's just like crazy, like about $600 for just like pretty much the stick and the ropes and stuff.
Yeah, you're looking at £1 per stick. That's pretty incredible. But a different style of I mean, you and JR one stick, so you don't really. So what's the point of having multiple sticks like that if you're going to be one sticking when you start opening the
personal preference?
We don't have. I mean, he has some he has some for the other regular saddle hunting or whatever he does, but like me, like I don't. The only other sticks I have are sticks for like a regular lock-on set. Like I don't need any other sticks.
That's what I figured. I just didn't know if like you planned like you get like just one of them. Like you could do one of them and get your platform or something. And
yeah, if you prefer like a bigger, because like they have one sticks now. I think it's called like the Big Bob, and they got other stuff like that. But they have these bigger platforms. But if you would like a bigger platform, and if you still prefer a regular platform, like from whoever your favorite company is to use, then you could use a regular stick. You don't have to get like the Eastern Woods Outdoors platform on top of it. You can just get a regular stick from anybody, pretty much. Put a 3-step bait on the bottom of that sucker, climb up as far as you want, and then put a regular platform. Yeah.
Yep. Dude, that's just another variant to like being able to climb with the saddle, though.
I was gonna say,
like you were just saying, the Eastern company you're talking about, they actually have a platform that mounts directly on the stick, right? Like it's all once.
Yeah. Yep.
So does it like collapse so the platform's not in your way when you're going up and down the stick?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't get in the way. It's really not that. It stands out far enough to be comfortable, and it's not an issue, but it doesn't stand out like too far to where it's like a problem packing it around and all that kind of stuff.
Not in your way and stuff like that.
Mine's strapped to a backpack right now, and like I have my one stick on a backpack, and I have like all my stuff in my backpack that I would use for hunting, and it's all that, I could put my saddle in with it too, but you usually wear them in. But even if I'm just carrying it in there, it's still all lighter than my old man climber, and my old man was like 16 pounds, and that's all my gear now. Do what?
Yeah. I mean, that's just the stand, like that's 16 pounds. You're not talking about your other gear.
That's all my gear. And Ty and I both, we one stick, but like Ty repels, I don't repel. He's got a, what are you running? Yours is a 3-step 15-inch or 8er or what, Ty?
Oh, so now it's 18 inches. I think I did an 18-inch or 16-inch stick or 18-inch stick, and I did an 18-inch aider, 3-step aider.
I've got I think, because if you recall when we shot the video, I tried yours out, but there's like a foot difference in height in us. Not quite that much, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And your stealth was a little too much for me if I was going to be using it all the time, but it gave me the idea of what so I did the 15-inch stick with an adjustable 8er, 3-step adjustable 8er. So I'm running like 1 foot to 15 inches on my 8er, and then a 15-inch stick is what I think mine is.
So when you do a rappel rope, that's just your way of like if you're going back to the same tree the next day or whatever, you can.
No, so the reason you rappel is trying to get down one sticking without rappelling.
It's scary as hell, to put it bluntly.
It is not fun.
It's sketch.
Rappelling, because once you're up, you climb. You rappel down. You literally your tether is your rappel rope. Like that's how that works. And you start rappelling down, and you just grab your platform, your one stick on the way down, and hook it. Like I have a little clip that it clips onto my saddle. I hook it on my hip, and I just rappel the rest of the way down. And once I get down to the bottom, I have my pulled down rope that already up to where my tether was or is, and I just pull that sucker down, and that's the end of it. You just put everything.
That sounds way easier. So that's been less tiring. You're not wore out.
It is.
Coming down the tree.
It is.
Yeah, it's super easy.
I've got to switch to it. I haven't. And it's like the guy that I told you about the other day that I met, you know, from Louisiana. He has a setup. Talk about coon-ass engineered, I guess, if I could call it that without offending people. He's got a tether, you know, that he hooks to the tree, right?
Yeah.
That comes down and is somehow set up and it's a kind of a hard, like, 3-step ladder or aider that hooks to that, and this dude literally climbs up. He's got his saddle hook, leans out, so all he's climbing with is a damn aider hooked to a tether.
Yeah, I think they have something. I've seen that set for a while now, but it's called Slider
Yeah.
or something like that. It's yeah, I know exactly. They have a lot of different variations of it, but yeah, they got a lot of different ways to climb nowadays.
Yeah,
it's way more than when I first started out.
Yeah, he did. He got that out the other night to show me, and like it hooks like this, and like wraps it around my leg, and I'm looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I don't even know you. Like, you know, I'm like, you know, just because we're sitting here hanging out doesn't mean you can wrap a rope around my legs. It's getting weird. And
So, one thing y'all failed to, another thing we forgot to mention about the whole situation with weight is one extra thing that everybody's doing now is packing a camera and they film their hunts. So, it's just another part of your bag, you know, that's adding more weight.
my camera arm's in my bag, and so is my camera, and I'm still lighter. And speaking of that, I have a spare arm and spare camera if either one of y'all want to use it when we go.
Teach me how to use it or show me how to work it, and I'll use it.
But yeah, I have a spare. Then remind me also, Ty. Like I said, I've got that knockoff GoPro that I'll bring you that you can have because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know, my memory, you know, it's short at times.
But the problem is it's blurry. I don't know. I'm not trying to update it, troubleshoot, but if I get the GoPro working, that's game on. But if I don't have the GoPro, then I'll definitely need the action camera, get my secondary.
Yeah, that's the problem with the GoPros too, though. They're the wide frame and you don't have a lot of zoom, so. I mean,
Well, that's just good for like if the GoPro would only be pointed pretty much at me or
Yep.
like my line of where I want to shoot with
Right.
me. Like it would have me and where I'm shooting in the background.
Yeah,
And just to where that would be like you see me, it's the camera, I can't see the camera.
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
That should catch at least me shooting and hopefully catch the animal, but the secondary camera will also let you know what's going on, like what's the hunter doing, you know.
So, so looking at stick prices, it's surprising. Like, all your big names are pretty much the same price. I mean, the price is what they are. I mean, it just seems like they're not 20 bucks or higher or lower. I mean, they're all really the same on their price, you know.
and
So,
I'll be honest, and it may offend some people like too, that most of it's preference and name brand that you're running. Now, there's a couple name brands I won't run just because there's some bad reviews, but like overall, the higher quality stuff, it's all the same. It's, you know, like there's a little bit of different twist to it on how it's made, but at that point, you're buying something that you're loyal to because like you like it. And
right.
Yeah, if you're unbiased, there's plenty of reviews on the comparing each other.
you're breaking up a little bit, Ty.
Standoff.
He's just probably driving in an area or something that's.
Yeah, I'm in a bad spot, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's working perfect there. But yeah, like Ty was saying there, if you're unbiased, then it's 6 one way, half a dozen another. I've been looking like I want to build a rapport with a company to get all my stuff through, just because, like, you know, like I said, I switched to the Gearhead archery bow this year. Been talking to those guys; they're all great. I like Dylan. I like to be able. What I like about them, I can literally call and talk to the guy in charge of everything. You know.
Yeah.
And
Have y'all seen? I mean, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
you're good. Go ahead.
No, I'm on Hawk's website now, and it just
Who?
seems like, I don't have a preference on what, I mean, eventually I'm going to get my stuff.
You
It
don't.
just seems like a lot of your a lot of your smaller guys like that are up and coming with their saddles and all their gear, it seems like they bought these top brand, mass production company things, and they've analyzed them, tested them, field tested them, used them, and then now they've came up with their own thing, based on what they found they liked or disliked about that stuff. So, and it just seems like you're paying, 10 or 15 more dollars for a smaller local, guy building a saddle, and it's a better quality because they've put into consideration what every hunter, doesn't like about, certain companies. I mean, I'm not saying Hawk in particular. I was just looking for stuff.
Now down there by y'all, they have a company that does saddles, Buzzard Roost.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about them. You can go and try saddles at their shop and everything, and it's supposed to be down Santa Malt, I think. I hadn't really checked.
Exactly. Yeah, we talked about that. Santa Malt, Louisiana.
Yeah. I don't know anything about their saddles. I've seen a lot of people rave about them. And I will say this, everybody talks about, this one's this comfortable, this one's this comfortable. Well, this one's more comfortable than this one. It's your setup. If, that thing I sent you, Brant.
Yeah.
If you don't have it set up right, it's going to create pinch points. It's going to create grab. It's going to...
They're all going to hurt.
I wear...
No matter what the brand is on it.
It's like that. Some people say, you was comfortable actually.
Are you there, buddy?
Poor thing's cutting in and out. So, I can't hear him.
No. Yeah, you don't say, huh?
It's alright, Ty. You're in a bad area.
No, we know.
You can hear us, but we can't hear you.
We're getting there.
That's a big good service then.
There we go.
There we go. What was you saying about?
Yeah. So nowadays, like I said about some people are like, oh, you got the wrong setup, or you have you need a bridge this short, this long, tether at this height. It's whatever you're comfortable with, but as after sitting a couple hours in a saddle, you might get some hip pinch. It's normal. It happens to me too. But they have devices now that negate the hip pinch, and it's really not even an issue. They have several products on the market now that will help with that. So
Yep.
That's really not even that big of a deal.
Yeah, and it's like I said, they're all gonna pinch. It's how eventually, and it's just like I said, I hunted out of an old man climber for years. The mesh seating, the super light one, it was great. But after a few hours, you had to move around. It hurt.
Absolutely.
You get y'all probably know what I'm talking about. You get that feeling us being from Louisiana, we'll call it bateau butt. Where you sit in the bateau long enough, your butt kind of gets itchy. And most people will call it bleacher butt. When you sit on bleachers at a ball game. It's bateau butt. Your saddle, your lock-on, your climber, sit in it long enough, and guess what? Your butt gets that weird. It's that, I guess tingling, like it's going to sleep, like it's that pinch.
Yeah.
So.
Well, can't you? In some of the videos I've seen, can't you essentially adjust your weight distribution though? However you're positioned, you can put your feet on your platform.
You can adjust your bridge. You can adjust your tether height. Things like that. You can pull it down. Like if you have it's just a 2-panel, there's more adjustments than just your single panel. But a lot of times you just either pull it down a little bit, or change the I guess where your bridge is tied into your saddle. You can adjust up and down on that, and that also helps. But also depending on your tether height and how steep the angle is, and there's all kind of different intricacies that in it. But you can always find a comfortable spot and always change it. Yeah, exactly. Where the pinch, where the weight bearing may be, or whatever. You can always change position.
It's like if I'm standing there leant back, Brant, and I get where I'm tired of just kind of leaning, hanging, and I want to stand. I may stand straight up on my platform, but reach there and pull my stuff where it's tight, where it's kind of holding me up, where there's no it takes weight off of my feet.
Yeah, and you're not holding yourself up with your arms.
I think Ty runs knee pads also, where you put your knees up against the tree where you can just hang and relax.
Yeah.
Like, I run knee pads, and you've got a bunch of different things you can do that there's so many different positions. And it's like this year when I killed that 11 point out of mine. He came out dead to my left, like not where I expected him to. I literally swung the tree between us and hung out right there and filmed with my phone until I dropped my phone. And then he ran off for like 100 yards. I had to stop. I had to shoot him then. And but it was like, he never knew I was there. The one I killed before him, I wish I could have videoed it. I was at my platform and my feet were at like 11 feet up. I hear the deer literally walked on the back side of the tree I was on. I could have, like, if I'd had a spear, I could have stuck him.
I will say, one of the things, like I'm looking at on Hawk's website, just because me and JR were talking about earlier time on the phone about how your owner and your lock-on companies are going to try to target and combat the saddle movement. And I did notice, like, one of the big complaints is nobody wants to hang a lock-on anymore on the side of a tree because it's just a pain in the butt. Let's not kid ourselves. But they actually have this cruiser tree brackets they came out with. It's kind of nifty. It's a ratchet strap with a little spike sticking up, like, in the air, and you take the knob off and you can hang. Particularly Hawk's stands have a hole right there where that bracket is that locks to the tree, and you can slip it in that after you strap the little bracket to the tree. So just something.
It's like a Millennium, a lot of them have that little attachment where you just hang out on a bunch of trees and have preset sticks. If you want, you can bring a little small Millennium or any Millennium or whatever other stand brand, and stick it on there.
I guess it's still carrying I don't even know how much a lock-on weight, but you're still on weight going to be more than.
I think lock-ons now that are super light, and for the guys who still want a full lock-on and they run a gun, but they do use lock-ons. It's just like they have some really light ones out there. They're not all big, heavy, 10-pound stands or whatever. Yeah. But it's just so you have people who still have lock-on. They love the lock-ons, and they just go lighter every year when they come out with new stuff. And these still got the same people that use the same stands that they use for 15, 20 years that they still run a gun with. They're not going to change, even though it's easier and lighter to go other routes. It is what it is.
Well, okay, like private land, I couldn't use them on public because you can't, but like private land, I used to use spikes to climb with. Like, like tree climbing spurs.
Yeah.
Like, I have two. Brant has seen them. Ty, I've got 2 sets of them that I would wear and climb like that. I didn't use any sticks or anything. I climbed with climbing spurs.
Yeah, and I was gonna buy those like when I initially got into saddle hunting. I was gonna do that because I hunted mainly private, but I had aspirations to go start doing public land. But I had a lot of private at the time to hunt. And so I thought about doing spikes, but then once I realized I learned about public land, you can't use them in public. I was like, I'm not paying $300-400 for a good pair of spikes and not going to use them.
Yeah, it's like I have 2 sets. One's a really nice set. The other one's just an average set. And but it's like, unless you spend $600-700 on like some like super lightweight ones, even the spikes are heavy. Like. And, we're about an hour into this, so we probably need to start wrapping it down because I know you got stuff you need to do, Ty. Like I said, this will air the day our first day in the wood, our first hunting trip. We're looking forward to it. I actually enjoyed this. Is the first one you got to get on with us, and Brant's second one. We need to be able to spend some more time doing them. I think we want to try and record a few times while we're in the woods. We might even go live on the Facebook channel, the YouTube channel, and everything. But we're gonna go on and I guess wind this one down. What y'all think?
Yeah, man, that sounds good.
So
yeah.
All right. Well, you be careful, Ty, and I'll catch y'all later. So let's we'll call this one done. So that was the episode that will be airing Tuesday, October 1st. Hopefully we have an update for y'all that evening that I can throw into it, because overall it was a fun time. I look forward to getting the guys on here more and enjoying conversation with them and more time with them as a group. Delta Lodge Outdoors, Julius Craig.